Hello and welcome back to Chasing the Target. It's Super Friday, and we have one game going on currently, and one game we just finished an hour ago. India versus New Zealand. New Zealand drawing first blood in the first T20 international, winning by 21 runs. It was a convincing performance in the end by them. Darren Mitchell made the difference with the bat. Mitchell Santner made the difference with the ball. And as captain, I have with me first. Hi, Assalamu alaikum.
वालेकुम सलाम। मैं कल बोला था, देखो प्रेडिक्ट कर लिया था कि न्यूजीलैंड जीतने वाली है। बिकॉज
You too.
अगर अपन गोइंग फ्रॉम 50 ओवर फॉर्मेट टू 20 फॉर्मेट अपने कने थोड़े सी, आई थिंक दैट टीम इज अ लिटिल बिट न्यू एंड यंग एंड इनएक्सपीरियंस व्हेन यू कंपेयर टू न्यूजीलैंड स्क्वाड जो अभी है। काफी इतना ज्यादा खेल के है। अगर अपन हार्दिक पांड्या के साथ के अंदर खेले तो ज्यादा नहीं खेले बॉयज, and you have people like Shivam Mavi, you have Tripathi, these guys coming in as well. So थोड़ा बहुत उस हिसाब से अगर देखे तो it's like fine, but yeah, certain wickets that I wasn't happy with. शुभमन गिल का जो विकेट गया था उससे ज्यादा खुशी नहीं हुई थी मेरी, जिस तरीके से उन्हें आउट हुआ again across the line against spin. I mean overall not. I mean that Arshdeep over really cost us the whole match if you look at it very critically.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's an upsetting day indeed.
Yeah. Let's start off with that in our eye test. We'll go and talk about a bit about the individual performance. Just before I go into that, I'll just give a quick update for the England South Africa game. It's a pretty close game, although England are way ahead of the asking, but they need 50 of 12 overs. They have 4 wickets in hand. Curran and Willie are batting currently. So, these two know how to bat and they can get the job done. But it's interesting. It's not. It's been a good game so far. It wasn't as easy as a chase that England would have liked, and South Africa still in it if they can pick up a few wickets. But I would say 70-30 to England right now. So with that, let's go into the eye test first and discuss that India-New Zealand game and some individual performances. So let's just take Ibrahim Bhai's comment as our first performance, which is Washington Sundar. He was outstanding with the ball initially, and that catch he took, the cotton ball, was brilliant. The way he stretched full Monty and took that catch, great dive and great catch. And then with the bat as well, he did his job, but unfortunately didn't get the right support, and also he came in a bit late. But a good performance from Washington Sundar. This is what we want to see. They getting a string of games and performing consistently, and there is an improvement in his bowling today. We saw that, of course, a lot of spinners were helped out today with the pitch, but Washington Sundar, I think the lines and lengths he bowled and the pace that you saw that flight as well. So there was variation in pace.
Yeah, I think he's, like even a commentator saying, and we've been saying, कि भाई regularly इसको खिलाओ, इसको regular जो मौका. I think even in the 50 over format, he was decent enough at certain points. He did get smacked, but he took that as a learning. एक सीख मिलती है अगर आप consecutively खेलते गए, and आपके अंदर matches है 2020 भाई. We know that spinner and the fast bowler आप मार खाने का तो मार खा सकते. But I think it's a very good way that he's come back in the bowling department from the 50 overs. में हमने 50, I think run for 50. I think दो ODIs में लिया था run for 50, and then 2 for 7 and one of the other ODIs where he bowled lesser overs. I think T20 suits this guy's style of play at this point of time. He's more confident. That catch, spectacular, agility from him, quick reflexes, बेहतरीन catch था. But batting का अगर मैं अपन जा रहे batting के towards, man, this guy, someone was telling, I think on Manjarekar जो बोल रहा था कि technique Ashwin के, I think this guy is better than Ashwin. He's more of a complete batsman when you compare it to an Ashwin. Yes, Ashwin has certain shots in him, but he can't do it. I think this guy is one who can bat. Actually, at this point, he's a better batsman than a bowler for me. The way his shots were.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
As soon as he came, वो जो बाउंड्री उन्हें मारा भाई, टेक्निकली कितना जबरदस्त शॉट है उसके छक्के. Yeah, so for me, Washington Sundar at this point, I'm looking at him more as a batsman at this point.
और दो कवर के थ्रू जो क्रैक करा जबरदस्त शॉट्स है, and I agree with you. I think right now he's a better batsman, but and we want him to work on his bowling. Today we saw a glimpse of what he can do, what he's capable of, and no matter what the pitch is providing, it was good that he made the most of it. And he's a fantastic fielder as well, so he's a really good prospect as an all-rounder. He's been quality in all aspects in this game. But if you look at it from New Zealand's point of view, they're the winning side. So Daryl Mitchell, man, we were all talking about him. We were saying, and I had mentioned that he had some decent performances against Pakistan. Maybe not the consistency that you wanted in the one days against India, but today he was the main guy. He was the difference maker. He struggled initially with spin. He watched Kuldeep Yadav. He didn't take him on. He was struggling against the spinners in the one days. So he made sure he worked on that side of his game, and he took on the fast bowlers. And we saw that in the last couple of overs, especially the last over, the way he attacked Arshdeep. Brilliant batting from Daryl Mitchell, man. Great sixes, and his contribution was the match-winning contribution. It was the difference between the two sides.
Yeah, I think the difference that I found in Daryl Mitchell in this game in particular, अगर अपन देखें, he played थोड़ा तेज खेलो ना. He played a little quicker than what he usually doing. In Pakistan also he had rare moments where he made, I think, a 42, he made a 31 also, but it was very slow. The Daryl Mitchell that we know, he is capable of coming and hitting from ball one. He's capable of finding the quick sixes, which he did today. You saw deep in wicket के ऊपर मारा उन्हें किधर किधर की मारा आज. तो वो intent and aggressive Daryl Mitchell was missing, which New Zealand luckily found today when it was most needed, right? So I think Daryl Mitchell has changed a sort of temperament. Maybe he was being too restrictive of his, and doubting his ability, maybe, and that is what helped him today to get that 59, 30 balls and 196 का static. That is the direction that we remember. उन्हें जो आके मारा था, I think it was the World Cup. जो उन्हें आके मारा था 50 quick 50 मारा था, या was it yeah, I think it was the World Cup against India only hit. So Daryl Mitchell.
No, he didn't. They didn't play in India, but it might have been one of. It might have been the series
One
right
of the
after.
big ICC, yeah, I think one of the big tournaments only. I just can't remember, like a 59, but similar situation where he came and he changed the dynamic of the game, and deservedly he was, I think, the player to watch out for today.
And as you speak, Nokia's picked up another wicket, and England are 7 down now. Willie's back in the pavilion. Nokia, my fantasy pick, picking up 3 wickets. I'm very excited with that. It was a really good bouncer. Willie tried to, pull him, but top edge, and now the game is on. 3 wickets, South Africa. I know England is still ahead of the required run rate, but anything can happen right now. So that game, England South Africa, is very evenly poised and very exciting. And as we move on and talk about the India New Zealand game, let's talk about that last over. We always used to, we were criticizing Bhuvneshwar Kumar, a problem with the 19th over, But I was telling you at that time as well that it's not just Bhuvneshwar Kumar, it's not just Arshdeep. This problem is with India, and whether it's the way they plan death bowling, whether it's how they plan wiping out the tail. Today it wasn't the tail issue, but it was basically death bowling issue. In 20 overs, you don't get that chance to wipe out the tail that often. So, but closing out, like let's call it closing out a game when you still have your when you've done a decent job closing out the game, bowling a good over of like 8 runs, 9 runs maximum, you go and give 27. I'm not going to particularly criticize or single out Arshdeep, even though it was him who caused, and again he bowled a no ball. Like, this problem is with India. It's an inherent problem, and they will. I don't know how they're going to fix this, but whether it's cleaning out a tail or finishing off in the death, this is a big problem. Again, you saw him under pressure cracking, and Daryl Mitchell making the most of it.
Yeah, I think for Arshdeep, I don't know, until the third over, he bowled phenomenal. He was 3 over, I think, 24 runs. And he was doing okay. He didn't make a lot of mistakes. And that minute that no ball hit, I think everything triggered for him again. He sort of went in that zone where he, "Arey yaar,
I
फिर it
think
is."
the trauma, bro. The trauma. Last time he pulled those 5 no balls, Hardik went crazy at him. तो वो उसके ख्वाबों में चल रहा था, मतलब in his.
नहीं, obviously हार्दिक did give another reaction. फिर हार्दिक reaction दिया उसको जब no ball आया, तो he did hold his head and off, because भाई
ट्रोमैटिक करते रहा हार्दिक उसके लिए, ट्रोमैटिक करते रहा भाई
ट्रोमैटिक की बात नहीं. आई थिंक आप इतना डेथ ओवर डाल दिया अभी, और आपसे एक्सपेक्टेशंस तो ऑलरेडी था. आई डोंट थिंक अर्शदीप इज न्यू टू दिस फील्ड ऑफ डेथ बॉलिंग, बट
he's not, and he was doing a good job. But I think after that 5 no ball, and I was listening to Dinesh Karthik before the game on Cricket Buzz. He was saying that वो जो ground था, it's actually a bit difficult for the bowlers. The run up is an issue, तो इसलिए उन्हें बहुत ज्यादा no balls डाल दिया. मगर यहाँ पे तो उतना issue नहीं था. लेकिन yeah, I'm joking, but maybe it's just that it's the post-traumatic stress that Hardik has, as a captain, has caused Arshdeep to become nervous.
But I think post-traumatic stress भी अगर अपन बोल रहे हैं, I think post-traumatic stress was in Sri Lanka,
मजाक
and that
कर
was
रहा
like
हूँ.
almost a month ago. मतलब मैं फिर भी if you're taking into context बोल रहा हूँ मैं, हम मजाक तो कर रहे हैं, लेकिन भाई अगर आपको like दे दिए नया ओवर, नया डे है, 3 for 22 आप डाल रहे, आप नो बॉल डाले, चलो ठीक है, कोई बात नहीं, एक सिक्का पड़ता, इट्स अ डेथ ओवर, वी अंडरस्टैंड दैट बैट्समैन गोना बी मोर, बट द नेक्स्ट बॉल आफ्टर that he bowled for the free hit again, he went for a slower one. I didn't get that point, why he went for a slower one. There was no point of that. उन्हें स्लोअर डाला, यॉर्कर डालो तुम्हारा जो गो टू डिलीवरी है, बट नहीं आप स्लोअर डाल के फिर उन्हें रियल मैच वेटेड फॉर द
Last
बॉल एंड ही स्मैक्ड इट.
last three balls
आस्क हिम.
उन्हें
अच्छा.
Yorker डाला था. Last three balls
Yeah.
Yorker डाला था and it worked out. So yeah, I agree with you there. But for me, I'm taking out the
एक
equation.
मिनट
The
सुबह.
captain, I'm taking. Sorry.
1 minute. I'm just coming. 1 minute.
Yeah. So we were talking about Arshdeep. For me, I'm taking out from the equation the captain, the bowler, everything. This is a problem with India. So they will, as a team, have to recuperate and understand how they can improve in the depth, how they can bowl better, nail those Yorkers, how they don't let that pressure get to them, be more sensible and execute their plans. Because yeah, आप देख लो टेस्ट में, वनडेज में, T20's में, हर वक्त end overs में, whether it's wiping out a tail or trying to defend a score or trying to finish off a game, आप खत्म नहीं कर रहे बराबर. So for me, it's more than just Arshdeep individually or Hardik individually. But the way Faiz explained it, I think it was great. If you're looking at today, like he said that like bhai, he didn't bowl the Yorker, he bowled back to back slower once. He was becoming predictable and he became nervous after that no ball, obviously. So the way Faiz explained it was for today, but for me, it's more like. I'm
Not a
not trying
problem.
to
Yeah.
explain it. I'm just saying it's a problem, and you have to do
Yeah,
something.
100%. Yeah. See, Hardik Pandya quickly understood the conditions of the pitch, and he was fast to make the slower balls come into slower bowlers come into play. I don't understand why he didn't finish Deepak Huda. That was one shout for me कि भाई maybe Deepak Huda को आप और 2 ओवर दिलाते थे. उमरान एक ही ओवर डाला, 16 रन खाया. And once you understood those things, maybe you should have just finished Deepak Huda. I mean, कहीं को नहीं करे आप, I don't get the point. And like
I
fast
mean,
bowlers की लगी पड़ी थी, उनकी खुद की लगी
especially
पड़ी थी आज तो.
especially when you know that Mitchell has an issue with spin bowlers, he could have potentially carried that on. Again, I'm not going to be as strict with this Indian team compared to the one day team because the one day team, the पूरे proper team है वो like बहुत experienced खिलाड़ी हैं तो और मैं criticize कर सकता हूँ test team को भी यहाँ पे it's a learning curve. You have to test the not protest the process like Arteta. And if you have to lose series at home and everything, I'm okay with it because it is a young team, it's an inexperienced team, you're going to learn. If you look at New Zealand, the way they started bowling as well, getting the ball to swing, the movement
Man.
was. Yeah, he was great. The wicket of Tripathi was outstanding, and then the spinners did their job. Are you a bit concerned about Ishan Kishan and Shubman Gill as an opening pair right now, or is it still too early?
I think the ball was a very good ball that Ishan Kishan got dismissed with.
Wow, fantastic!
Fantastic delivery. Ishan was taken by surprise by the reverse turn, and I think वो एक fact है. Maybe Shubman Gill, I was not that worried about, but the way again he, his main culprit that hitting across the spinner, hitting across the line, has cost him again. And I don't know, after coming in that kind of a form where you learn from your mistake, why go back to that same mistake? And knowing that it is already a conducive to spin kind of a track, थोड़ा slow होने वाला है ball, आप ऐसे shot मारो ना, कब थोड़ा settle हो जाओ, थोड़ा एक आध cover drive मारो, एक आध runs करो. I don't know why they're not going for the singles initially, single double मारो, आप थोड़ा get to know the condition and then go after it. Maybe it's that same template हो रहा है कि aggressive approach against Tripathi. I was very upset with him. The way he also got out, it was not ideally. I would like him to see because these are the moments that you want him to shine, right? And then later on you'll come back saying, "भाई हमारे को मौका नहीं दे रहे, हमारे को कहीं को नहीं बिठा दिया, Tripathi भी तो था." But these are the things you bank on, and that's what is sort of frustrating as a fan.
And how outstanding was Santner with the ball and as captain, man.
Wow.
I like with the ball too. Like Ravi Shastri said it on commentary on repeat. Like his line, his length, his variation in pace, impeccable. And then even captaincy, the way he captained himself, because he was bringing himself on and taking himself off. The way he captained himself, the way he captained the other spinners, the likes of Bracewell and Sodhi as well. And just in general, he's just a very confident player right now. He's doing very well in the T20 format as an individual, and now as a captain, this win will give him a lot of confidence going into the next couple games, and then in the future as well. I think Santner has that confidence now. But if I look at it individually, the way he bowled, outstanding. Even Hardik and Surya when they counter-attack.
Yeah.
So New Zealand got 3 early wickets, but Surya and Hardik were counter-attacking, and they were actually they got India back into the game. The required rate was getting in check. They were both playing some fabulous shots. Santner brought himself in. They didn't take a risk against him, and eventually he got that wicket of Hardik, and the pressure was back on India. So outstanding from Santner.
Yeah, I think Ravi Shastri rightfully said, they were respecting Santner, respecting his line and length, उसको बहुत ज़्यादा इज्जत दे रहे थे, which he deserved. सूर्य कुमार को second कर दिया उन्हें, पूरे 4 लोगों को deep में डाल दिया. T20 का मैच है, he was not caring कि भाई उसको single दो, double ले लो, कुछ भी करो, boundary या छक्का नहीं जाना. हालांकि सूर्या did on a lot of occasions clear those boundaries, but then what happened? that thing he got caught in the deep mid wicket region, and perfect plan executed from Santner. Santner knew who to take out early on. Duffy हालांकि अच्छा I think Duffy जबरदस्त ओवर डाले बाद उसको निकाल के sorry ब्रेसवेल जबरदस्त bowling कर रहा था फर्स्ट में, उसको निकाल के उन्हें खुद आ गया because he understood the track, and I think that is when you understand the condition and you execute your plans. Obviously reward तो रहने वाला है. But yeah, I mean yeah,
Yeah, no,
ये
I was just doing Sachin Bhai's comment. Thank you so much. Welcome to the stream, Bhai. Welcome to Sai Bhai as well, Ibrahim Bhai, and everyone who's watching. Make sure you smash a like and subscribe if you haven't already. ये fielding लेने से पहले research करना था. पिछले कुछ दिन ड्यू कितने टाइम पे आया फील्ड पे. देखो मेरे हिसाब से थोड़ा ड्यू था. लाइक इफ यू सॉ जब वो पार्टनरशिप चल रही थी सूर्या कुमार और हार्दिक पांड्या की, वो टाइम पे वो बॉल साफ कर रहे थे जब वो टावल्स निकल गए थे एंड दे ट्राई टू take the dew off the ball. But also at the same time, the pitch was still doing a bit. There was still turn on offer, and maybe it wasn't as much dew. And also, even if you take dew out of the account, this ground normally is better for chasing. Just I don't know what it is. It's the boundaries also, whatever it is. Just the history of chasing is better, so that's why Hardik decided to field first. He took everything into consideration. And these things happen in T20 matches. We saw that in Nagpur in 2016 when, in India were chasing 120. They got knocked over by the same New Zealand team, similar New Zealand team. And Santner had a part to play there as well. And when there is turn on offer and when the pitch gets to deteriorate, now teams are not afraid of India in terms of bowling the spinners on there, because they do have talented spinners themselves, and they also know that India do have weaknesses against spin. And again, it was exploited. In home conditions, you'd still expect India to do better than they did today, because of course there was it was challenging, but you expect they were struggling the same way New Zealand was struggling, or maybe even more against spin, and that is kind of surprising. And New Zealand took that to their advantage. They bowled really well and did the most of it. But if you look at the toss, I don't think Hardik Pandya made a mistake. I would have fielded first. And
I think that is one thing also, and taken into account that last over that we saw, that is a very big thing. No, 27 runs. Well, the India has made 155. I think we would have been like a 150 target. For अगर आप ये इक्वेशन में से निकाल दिए 27 रन, चलो आप 6-7 runs भी दे दो, it would have been a more closer game going into batting. And I think that also played onto the played a very big role in the result of the match. So I think वो Arshdeep का over was criminal. I mean, it will be critical, very critical to only blame him, but there was not much wrong, not much anything else he could do. Maybe the only aspect I can see from Hardik Pandya's perspective is कि आप दीपक हुडा को पूरे ओवर दिलाना था विनीनू के भाई स्पिनिंग ट्रैक है एंड विकेट टू विकेट डालो, आप ग्रिप करो, बॉल चल जाएगा. बट उसके अलावा ज्यादा कुछ गलत नहीं दिखा मेरे को. ऑब्वियसली बैटिंग के हिसाब से अगर अपन देख रहे हैं, लॉट ऑफ वेज दैट शुभमन गिल का मालूम है वो विकेट कैसे दे दिया उन्हें. Surya Kumar and Hardik were doing well, but then they got sucked into a very good trap by Santner. So I mean, overall, अगर मैं देख रहा हूँ, always coming back to that, Arshdeep over, nothing much with regards to research and stuff, I think.
Where I would say is also batting. Magar 170. जब मैं देख रहा हूँ, I'm saying it's a chaseable target. Even with the turn and everything, it's a chaseable target. You have to play a bit more sensibly. And the opening, the top three didn't provide that platform. If you've seen what happened in the first innings, you know exactly कि भाई turn हो रहा. Ishan Kishan was keeping to Sundar when Sundar constantly beat Chapman. अब देखिए 3-4 delivery almost उखाड़ दिया था उसका off stump. So he knew exactly भाई इतना turn हो रहा. अब I know he got a very good delivery and got out, but he should know that from before. You should understand the situation and take it from there. You have to show more responsibility. If you want to be critical, you can be, because 170 is still achievable target. Of course, that last over you can talk about it. Magar pad gaya. Now you have to focus on trying to chase it down.
Batting aspect,
and I felt that they took that last over too much dil pe ki, they forgot about bhai it's still a chaseable score, and they will learn. It's a young team. I'm not going to be overcritical. साहब बोल रहे देखा पृथ्वी शॉ तो चिल कर रहा था. मैं तो देखा
क्या करेगा, हंस रहा था ना, क्या करेगा बेचारा.
On Santner, right-handers को reverse strike करना था because playing too many dots pressured us, but well bowled Santner. He tried to reverse sweep him, if you remember, and he got beaten. Then he put that reverse sweep back in his locker, because he did try to reverse sweep and it didn't work out. The way Santner was bowling, he was getting turn and bounce, and it was very difficult to hit him. So that's why, was it Santner? I think it was Santner only he tried to reverse sweep. It didn't work out, so that's why he put it back in the locker. I think on this kind of pitch, try to play as straight as possible because you're going to try to play across the line. The turn you might get beaten. Try to play as straight if you can, and if you're going to play square of the wicket, play with the turn. And that's what they were doing. Surya hit a six over the cover. Pandya has also played with the turn against Bracewell. He was trying to hit it through mid wicket with the turn. So I think those two were doing a good job, but the top order did disappoint in terms of playing the spin, whether it was Shubman Gill or Ishan Kishan. So
From New
yeah,
Zealand's yeah, from New Zealand's batting thing, like if you're looking at it, even Finale today was almost like he gave a very good start, obviously, but he I think when Bichara unexpectedly out ho gaya, he went to one too many. Or else I think there was also 50 or 60 on his name today. But then yeah, I think I think everybody in the middle also came. Daryl Mitchell jo aake aaya, Devon Conway ki innings again very crucial. Devon Conway's short selection, like I've said, he's been too much. I think that the comment that has interested Mustafa where he said North here takes Rashid. So there's a lot of drama in this England and South Africa one day that's happening right now. I think 35 and 54 Batara. I think it's 33 and 51 now from where I'm sitting. I don't know if that's accurate.
I don't know if it is either what I'm looking at is way behind, or Ibrahim Bhai is,
Oh, it's a
or
no ball. It's a no ball.
it
It's
was
a no
no
ball.
ball. Yeah, no ball. That's
Oh,
correct.
drama happening there as well. So I mean,
Because he's
yeah,
still batting, Abdul Rashid, when I just checked.
that's what.
इस पिच में रोहित शर्मा भी सुनील नारायण बन जाएगा. देखो हाँ बात तो सही है, टर्न अच्छा हो रहा था, लेकिन still you had to pitch in the right areas and you had to vary your pace. The odd ball could go to the boundary, of course, though. Like yeah, in general it was very good. Any spinner would have loved to bowl. Labuschagne Smith, Rohit Sharma, anybody would have loved to bowl on this pitch. Yeah, it was a very good pitch to bowl spin on. And despite the dew, they were still getting the ball to turn. That means pitch mein tha kuch. Overall, if you look at it, Fez, from New Zealand's point of view, it's a big win because away from home on these kind of tours, especially when you lose 3-0 in the ODIs, fielding 50 overs, facing so many double hundreds and all that, it's a bit of a relief because a lot of these players played in that format. It's a bit of relief for them. It'll give them confidence going into that next T20, and they can really put India under pressure. And we mentioned this yesterday. If you remember, we discussed that this bowling lineup can be put under pressure because they are not as experienced as Siraj, Shami. It's not going to be as easy for India.
Yeah,
That's exactly what happened today. Arshdeep was put under pressure, and
Umran was put under pressure as well. Yeah.
Umran, Mavi, these guys will be under pressure, especially in the second T20. Of course, I think India will fight back. But if I look at it overall, I'm not too concerned. Even if India loses the series, it's about making a few tweaks here and there, maybe getting a Shaw and a Shubman Gill, but don't be too worried because these players will come good. You have to understand, a lot of them have started their international game at the same time and very recently. Of course, there are some experienced players there, but as a unit, they're a very young unit, and they will learn as series progress, as matches progress. Today, there were challenging conditions for the batsmen. For the bowlers, the faster bowlers should have done a better job if you look at it from Ajit's point of view. But apart from that, the bowlers did do a good job. So it's about trusting that process and learning, being calm under pressure. I won't be. My stance is completely different with this team. It's not as
या आई थिंक एक चीज वी नीड टू मेक श्योर और करना भी चाहिए क्योंकि अगर अपन देख रहे हैं ये टीम लाइक यू सेड यंग है सब है आई 100% एग्री विद दैट एंड हार्दिक पांड्या को भी बैक करना टू एन एक्सटेंट बट अच्छा ये भी है इन लोगों के लिए कि ये साल कोई T20 का वर्ल्ड कप नहीं है T20 का कोई बड़ा लाइक IPL है विच डजंट काउंट राइट सो लाइक वरना ये होता था अगर 2 या 3 बैक टू बैक हार गए देन सीनियर्स को वापस ला ले सकते बोल के एक वो एवेन्यू मिल जाएगा तो आई थिंक परफेक्ट है जितने गलतियां करना ये साल में कर लो 2024 में देयर इज नो रूम फॉर एरर अगर आप एक आध 2 सीरीज भी हार गए वो जगह पे देन आई थिंक फॉर सीनियर्स का डिमांड पब्लिक में बढ़ेगा
मगर मेरे हिसाब से अगर मेरा स्कूल ऑफ थॉट ये है कि भाई आप 2 वर्ल्ड कप्स दिए बैक टू बैक सीनियर्स को 2021 और 2022 में दोनों में फेल हुए तो लाइक अब यंगस्टर्स को दे दो मौका लेट द सीनियर्स फोकस ऑन टेस्ट मॉडल क्रिकेट अगर मैं इंचार्ज हूं बिकॉज़ आपको मौका मिल गया अब लुक दिस इज ऑलवेज गोना हैपन फेस लाइक इफ यू विन you if you lose with Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma, you're going to say youngsters ko mauka do. If you lose with the youngsters, you'll say Kohli ko वापस लेके आओ. You have to stick to what formula you believe in. I believe in backing the youngsters in the T20 format because the seniors have given a right goal and they've tried their best, no doubt. It wasn't good enough, unfortunately, but they tried their best. Asia Cup bhi haar gaye T20 format in log. So I think now it's just looking at this team, looking at the future and going with it. If you lose, you lose, bro. You've already lost with the big stars. If you lose with this team, what harm is it going to do? At least they will learn, right? They will understand. Playing Arshdeep in the T20 World Cup, I'm sure it's a great experience for him. So similarly, if a Sundar plays in a final or in a semi-final or in a World Cup game, it's going to be really helpful. Tripathi, these guys. I think now this is the time. It's just keep backing the youngsters. It
उन्हें
doesn't
मैं
matter.
वही बोल रहा हूँ ना, it back them correct है बिल्कुल, like I agree with that point, but the only way that India has always been is that, experience का बात जो ले लेके आते हैं, अगर like the likes of Ishan Kishan, Rahul Tripathi and all of these, जितने गलतियां बनाना है, they have a very like little room right now, right? So whatever you want to do, you do. But if you fail next year when the World Cup is there and फॉर्म में नहीं पकड़ा है, फिर वहां पे you know how it is and how सवाल खड़ जाते हैं कि भाई विराट कोहली को लाओ, रोहित शर्मा को लाओ, इसको लाओ, आई थिंक सैम करन भी आउट हो गया, सॉरी अनदर ड्रामेटिक टर्न हो
Yeah,
गया ये इंडियन।
Rabada got him caught behind. No, the thing is over there. What you're saying is then, but you have to. How many T20 World Cups have Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli, and these guys played? They played plenty, right? Virat Kohli played,
Yeah,
and
two
Rohit Sharma
three,
played from
yeah,
2007.
7, yeah,
Bhai,
yeah,
you
wow,
see straight up, they had their chances. They didn't win the World Cup. Now, if for
Rohit
example,
won.
Hardik Pandya loses as captain, one World Cup, who cares? At least his first as captain. These guys have got multiple opportunities. So you have to. अगर वगर इतना डरना का नहीं है पब्लिक से, आप बोल दो कि भाई इन लोगों को चांसेस दिए, नहीं मिला तो we moved on. That's it. Like it's simple as that. They've got enough cracks at the T20 World Cup, bro. You can't tell me that. भाई यंगस्टर को ब्लेम करो, उसको लेके आओ, कोहली को, रोहित को. नो, they've gotten their chances, they didn't make the most of it. बहुत chances मिले दोनों को. So I'm saying you back the youngsters, and if they lose, they lose. It's okay. You have to take this fear of losing out of your brain. Doesn't matter. It's okay. You lost. Move on to the next. You lost this tournament. Move on to the next. It's the brand of cricket you want to play, and you play to your strengths and what type of performances you want to give. If you focus on that, then all this outside noise won't matter to you.
Probably, yeah, but like again, it's just about even one more aspect that will be added to this would be the fitness thing. Consistently अगर कोई fit नहीं रहा है यहाँ पे boys, तो फिर वो change inevitable है. There's always going to be some room where the people will get to get a senior in.
वो
That's
तो
what.
आपकी सीनियर टीम में भी प्रॉब्लम है फिटनेस का, तो
हाँ,
और बड़ा प्रॉब्लम है वहां पे. तो यंगस्टर तो एटलीस्ट यू कैन रिप्लेस यंगस्टर विद यंगस्टर. अगर त्रिपाठी इंजर्ड हो गया, सैमसन को ला लो. सैमसन इंजर्ड हो गया तो अय्यर को ला लो. अय्यर इंजर्ड हो गया तो त्रिपाठी को वापस ला लो. यू हैव लॉट ऑफ ऑप्शंस इन यंगस्टर्स. यू हैव गायकवाड वेटिंग इन द विंग्स. आई नो ही इज इंजर्ड करंटली, बट यू हैव लॉट ऑफ ऑप्शंस. आपके पडिकल है, ये है, वो है, बहुत ऑप्शन है यंगस्टर्स में. यू कीप बैकिंग यंगस्टर्स एंड यू कीप गोइंग लाइक दैट बिकॉज यू ऑलरेडी, दिस इज ट्राइड एंड टेस्टेड, दिस एक्सपीरियंस थिंग. It's not working in this format, so we move on. Rohit has played 8 T20 World Cups and Kohli's played 5 T20 World Cups.
Yeah.
But it's okay. They've done their job. They've tried their best. Now you go with them, because my opinion, if you want to play one of them, okay, fine. But I'm saying if I am the guy who's making the decision, I continue to back this Hardik Pandya team and make tweaks here and there. And don't be scared of losing, because this is how you're going to win. We're going to lose. Arsenal were 17th or 18th in 2020, if I'm not mistaken. Arteta was this one game away from getting sacked. He won that game. It was against Chelsea, I think, at the Bridge or at Emirates. They kept him, and now he's top of the table. I'm not trying to. I am comparing, but I'm not trying to say that Dravid is Arteta or anything like that. But you have to trust the process, and you have to back your youngsters. That's what you have to do.
Speaking of trusting the process, England trusts their process, but Abhi, their process is backfiring. I mean, I
What
think they
about my
just
process? Okay, baby.
they made a
4 wickets.
they made a match out. They made a
What
they
about
अपने
my
पाँव पे
process?
कुल्हाड़ी मारी.
What about
Yeah,
my
I'm
process?
coming to your process.
What about my man? Enric Nokia. वही सिंह, तुम मेरे को अच्छा सा ट्रिक करके मार्करम को बोले पिक करो बोल के. माय मैन अनरिक नोकिया राइट हियर लाइव आपके सामने, मेरा फैंटेसी पिक 4 विकेट. हाउ इज दैट प्रो?
अच्छा है. मैं कहीं को बोला तो आप फिर बोले कि ईस्टर्न के माय टीम बोल, तो आप नहीं बोल सकते. मजाक करो. बट नो, नॉर्थ हैज बीन इन फाइन फॉर्म. नॉर्थ किस हिसाब से SAT20 से आया, एंड एवरीबॉडी, आई थिंक क्विंटन डिकॉक गॉट a quick 30 and Henrik Larsson also contributed a bit with the bat. चल रहा. आई मीन अभी भी डेविड मिलर also SAT20 से वापस आ रहा, 53 मारा है. तो इट्स बीन अ वेरी गुड रिडेम्पशन काइंड ऑफ थिंग from South Africa. But I think either England खुद के पाँव पे कुल्हाड़ी मार ली. I think they, and that's how they are. I think जिस तरीके से आप बोल रहे थे कि they have no fear of losing, they have no fear of whatever. But I think at this point of time they could have just taken it easily home. It was 40 or
But
55.
I don't mind this. That's what I'm saying. It's okay. At the end of the day, like, they're looking at the bigger picture. They're trying to play a particular thing. They don't have all their personnel, but still they're trying to play like that, which is completely fine. I don't mind.
No, but my thing is like sometimes it's just unnecessary. They were in the driver's seat. They were आराम से, कुछ भी नहीं था. जॉर्ज बटलर और उन्हें खेल रहे थे. Moeen Ali were playing, and then unfortunately 4 wicket एक साथ obviously Northe and
मगर
Rabada, you
अगर आप
can't take them
देखें
out
जो
of the picture.
तरीके से outweighed, they weren't playing loose shots. They were getting good short pitch deliveries. Nokia was bowling good. Rabada was bowling good. So it wasn't like they were trying to throw away their wicket. It was some good bowling. Butler was beaten comprehensively, got caught behind. It wasn't like he was trying to play a scoop and got out. So it wasn't. They were not throwing away their wickets. They just got good deliveries. But yeah, they're looking to attack. I don't mind if you lose like that. It's better than trying to do tuk tuk and not making it. Yeah, I know right now what I'm saying is not making sense to you because they're losing the game, but you have to look at the overall process. In big tournaments, in white ball cricket now it's changed. You have to play aggressive cricket. If that means losing a few games, it's okay. You gotta take risks. It's fine. They took risks. They lost this game, no problem. And some good deliveries. You have to take it at the chin. Opposition bowled well. It's okay. And at least from look, Abhi maar diya ne Adil Rashid. Try to play a scorecard. So they continue to attack. There's only
Are
one
my
wicket.
fantasy pick? Are my fantasy?
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. I know, like what I'm saying now probably won't make sense to you because they're
No, see,
losing.
I get your point. बिल्कुल मैं समझ सकता हूँ कि वो हिसाब से what you're saying, they're getting to a bigger picture, newer generation of cricket, and so much cricket going on that's what it calls for. But I think somewhere down the line, I think India or like a few conventional fans are still set to that part. 4 साल का एक World Cup और 2 साल में T20 वही 6 cricket अभी. I think जिस तरीके से cricket बढ़ गया है over the years, and this is what it calls for. Like fast खेलो निकलो. एंड जिस तरीके से डिलीवरीज आते हैं, वेरिएशंस आ गए आजकल के टीम में, एंड शॉर्ट सिलेक्शन जो हो गया, आई थिंक इट डज डिमांड फॉर अ फास्टर काइंड ऑफ थिंग. बट माय ओनली थिंग इज be modern but also have a little bit of conventional approach in your thing, because that'll help you balance and finish it off. If I'm looking at this way, they could have, I mean, maybe they didn't play loose shots and they were a much better bowling side, but in a normal scenario also, you see, unnecessarily we tez khelna doesn't always lead to the right result, right?
But for example, the T20 World Cup final, they did play sensible, right? In the end, Ben Stokes did consume
Yeah, so
short
that,
delivery.
yeah, so they're always like,
They
that's
will
one
do
thing.
that. They will do that, but how did they start? They went off the blocks quick. Butler and Hales, they went off the blocks quick. The overall intent is always aggressive. Whereas India, if you looked at them in the big matches, they were conservative in the power play, whether it was against South Africa, against Pakistan, or against England. That is what I'm talking about. They do play to situations. Yes, at times it looks like, bro, they didn't. They're just trying to all out attack. They got all out. That, which is fine. They should learn from that. But overall, more times than not in pressure situations, this kind of approach in modern day cricket is helping you. So I think that's the approach to go with. And they're shown that they're currently holding both trophies right now, 50 overs and T20 cricket. And
Yeah.
they're not worried about it, bro. If they lost in 2021, they lost the T20 World Cup semi-final. That's where Darren Milcher went crazy at that time. I think he put up a partnership with Nisham. At that time, in New Zealand
Yeah,
were
yeah, 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 yeah.
if you remember in that game, England could have got to 200, but over attacking करके 180 या 190 का score था. So and they lost the game, and people said also they should have looked to got to 200 and everything like that. They didn't care. They came back and they won again. They're not afraid to lose games like this overall. And overall, they're a very intimidating team. You don't want to come against them. And when the opposition is slightly weak or the pitch is favorable to their kind of hitting, that's it. That game that they won against Pakistan, first test match, bro, is because they scored 500 in one day. That's why they won the test match. वो road पे कोई भी नहीं जीतता मैच ने तो.
रोड पे. Yeah, I get your point, but वही है कि I think वो balance भी जरूरी है, not to get too overtly excited and sort of lose the plot. That's the only way I'm looking at it. When situation demands, you need to calm down.
I know. I mean, fair enough. That's your opinion. For me, it's about going crazy because it's modern day cricket. I don't mind. Just go wild if you lose.
Because like you said, see, how did you win the World Cup? Ultimately, you had to calm down, right? Because early approach got you a very big problem, right? Got you in a very big problem, and Ben Stokes, you know, one ball away रहता वो, and उसको भी obviously stressful रहता, but he played a very slow innings and
But
he
mind
had to
you,
stoop down.
that was his experience. He did that. But mind you, if you take Pakistan's approach and England's approach, it was the aggressive approach which won you the game because Hales and Butler went and attacked. They got out after, but जो 30 रन मारे थे पहले 3-4 ओवर में, 3 ओवर में जो मारे थे, जो 10 runs in over जा रहे थे,
Yeah.
compared to Babar and Rizwan who were going 6 runs in over, that the game is
I
right there.
I don't say Babar is one of probably the worst example to give.
No,
in
but
terms
that's how
of,
I'm looking at it, right? I'm looking at it
in
from
a T20 format, I wouldn't ask them to play like a Dravid, right? I would rather maybe like maybe one
But
Sehwag and
those were the two approaches. They were playing according to the
Yeah.
pitch. They weren't doing anything wrong. They were playing according to the pitch. They were playing exactly how you wanted them to play. According to the delivery. They were trying to hit the loose ball, and they got out in the end. But whereas England, they also got out. But Butler and his style allowed Ben Stokes to take his time. He didn't need to worry. That was the thing. He
But
left
there
the
were
run.
again there were like a lot of wickets that were falling around him. So I mean, that
Yeah,
is
so
also
that's
one
what
thing.
it is, man. You go wild. If you lose, you lose. You accept it and you take it on the chin. Because I'm just telling you, because I've seen India too being South Africa have won. Breaking news: Ibrahim Bhai is saying all out. I mean, Shamsi has taken the last wicket. Ibrahim Bhai, if you can confirm that. But yeah, South Africa won, and Faiz, it's a huge victory for South Africa because it keeps their hopes alive for that one day World
World
Cup,
Cup.
man.
Man, that's some insane bowling. If I'm looking at it right now, the 4 overs, 62 runs for 10 overs, Andre not killing it. Even Sisanda Magala, so 9 overs, 46 and 3 wickets. In a way, I think he's on the heftier side. People say that Sarfaraz can't play. This guy's bowling, man, and he's bowling very good.
He's my boy, man. He plays for my team.
And
He's been
Rabada,
very
yeah,
very
Rabada
impressive.
redemption finally turnover 46 for 2 wickets. So yeah, Rabada is actually hitting the right areas right now. By Harry Brook duck out हो गया डेब्यू में आईपीएल में ऐसा नहीं होगा भाई मुसा भाई वही बोलेंगे इंटेंट है आई डोंट केयर सो इट्स ऑलराइट हैरी ब्रूक हैज वन ऑफ इट्स ऑलराइट we'll get him back into that string of things but yeah मेरे ऐसा तो नहीं होना चाहिए हैदराबाद में होपफुली लेट्स सी क्या होगा
भाई
हैदराबाद में अभी
ऐसा
तो
नहीं, फिलिप्स ब्रुक और मार्कम तीनों डक्स पे आउट हो रहे बोलो, हाँ, बिकॉज तीनों हाई रिस्क खेलते, स्पेशली दोस टू हैरी ब्रुक, इंग्लैंड, फिलिप्स बॉल बंद से मारते. आई थिंक दे गोना गो फॉर ब्रुक. हो सकता है कि दे हैव अ पोर आईपीएल, ये भी हो सकता है दे हैव अ ग्रेट आईपीएल, ये भी हो सकता है दे हैव इनकंसिस्टेंट, बट दैट्स द fun thing about youth and aggressive batting. You'll take that because the upside is very high. Important 10 points for SA in Super League. Yes, Shamsi took the last wicket. So congratulations to South Africa. A very good performance from them. Van der Dusen, hats off to him that there were wickets falling
century
around
yeah
him. He was getting a bit touchy. He was tried to get the reverse sweep out. He tried to, try to do different things. But Peterson was saying on commentary that this guy's his strength is playing in the V, playing those straight boundaries, play attacking cricket, but long on, long off, and he started doing that. It was a great 100 from him. Good support from Klaasen again. Klaasen in decent form. So overall,
David Miller also yeah
yeah, but Miller's back in contention, and he always provides that stability and strength in that middle order. And I feel that overall South Africa right now, again, they have a very good team. They just need to just play with their brain and not get under pressure. Relax. उनके पास bowling है, fast bowling है, spin bowling है, batting भी अच्छी improve हो रही है, right? आपके पास Quinton है, Markram है, Miller, these guys, all these Van der Dusen. So you have a lot of options. You just have to relax, play to your strengths, and don't lose to Netherlands. That's
एंड वो
it.
ओपनिंग क्रेडिट है वाकई यार ये साउथ अफ्रीकन बॉलिंग को कि भाई वो ओपनिंग पार्टनरशिप 150 की थी जेसन रॉय सेंचुरी अगेन ही इज कमिंग बैक इन फॉर्म ही हैज बीन सॉर्ट ऑफ आउट ऑफ द विंग्स रिसेंटली बट ही हैज बीन हैड अ रीसेंट 2-3 इनिंग्स खेल चुके हैं
His
वो
last chance, in my opinion, like it
या
was this 100 has given him a new breath of life and
या
a second chance basically to be in the England squad. I still
And the
don't think
funny thing is, this guy has been only playing T20. He hasn't even playing like 50 over
T20
format.
में
But
भी
I
ड्रॉप
think
करें उसको, T20 में भी
नहीं
ड्रॉप
नहीं
करें.
not for England. I think domestic Dubai की league खेल रहा था अभी ऐसे T20 खेल रहा है. And yeah, so I mean he didn't even have like a lot of things, but man, that 113 was actually some quality batting that he had a beautiful like a certain beautiful shots, certain sixes that I saw. And then David Malan again, like you said, he came into the squad 59 or 55. 150 का है बट भाई एज अ साउथ अफ्रीकन बॉलर आप डिमोरलाइज हो जाना सोचते होंगे लेकिन भाई व्हाट अ कमबैक हाँ
Yeah, yeah, outstanding comeback. I think they hit the right lengths. They're hitting that good length and just short of good length. They had the pace also that helps them. And it's about when Nokia and Rabada are in full flow, they're excellent bowlers. Rabada has been very erratic recently, and that's been the problem. But I think slowly he's getting that form back. Nokia has been outstanding overall. He's been great. He's probably the best fast bowler in the world currently for me, in my opinion. He's been just world class, and again he showed it today. Pace does make a difference, and not only that, he knows where to hit the batsman, where to bowl at what time. He does it exactly, and again, you saw that today against a very good England team. Yes, there's a lot of players who didn't play from England's point of view. The likes of Bairstow and these guys are not in the squad right now. Magar, फिर भी England team can beat South Africa, and especially when you get a start like that, England are favorites. Like in this South
वेल
Africa is a very special bowling lineup.
फनीली वेरी फनीली लाइक अगर अपन देख रहे हैं दोनों मेन के टीम हार गए लेकिन जो वुमेन्स टीम है they're in the final. India women's and England I think are in the final of the under 19 World Cup. I know there were a lot of apprehension of New Zealand अगर India will be India's sort of dark night आके मार देते हैं हमारे को and stuff like that. But I think the girls performed phenomenally. Prasavi Chopra 3 wickets. What a spell from her. I think इससे पहले के या उससे पहले के मैच में 4 विकेट भी ली थी इन्हें. Phenomenal. So India versus England. Did you see this coming?
No, I just thought Australia, it'll be Australia and New Zealand, because I just feel Australia, women's, I always back them. I know it's under 19. I'm not as aware of this team,
Yeah.
and I know they lost to Bangladesh as well. But I was backing Australia and India, New Zealand. Yes, if you ask me personally, I felt India should win, but the problem was New Zealand, nothing else. And वो hockey World Cup के बाद मेरे को थोड़ा वो हो गया, doubt हो गया था. So yeah, I didn't completely see it coming. Yeah, like a very good performance, Shweta Sherawat, man, very good performance today. 61 of
Again.
45. She made sure the chase was easy and sealed for India, and a big moment. They go into the final. I think they start just slight favorites against England. England have been good in this tournament, but India have two experienced players who would be playing another World Cup in a week or two. So I think India are favorites going into the World Cup. They bowled excellent today. The very tight lines and lengths. I think Shefali also bowled herself. She captained well, and best of luck to them in the final. Can't wait to see what happens over there. Jofra whacked for 81 in his 10th. Thoughts? Jofra's coming back. It's going to take him some time. He's still a class bowler. Today he's 80% fit. He mentioned that in an article before, and you could clearly see that he's not running in full steam. Line in length was a bit wayward, and he's also back of his mind. He doesn't want to get injured again. There's a ODI World Cup coming. He wants to be fully fit for that. So he's not bowling 100%, and he will come back. I think I'm not worried about it. 81 in 10. It's just because it's been a long layover of 2 years. He'll be back, bro. Don't worry. Donald, thank you for joining, Donald. How was England defending? How was England defending 99 against Australia? Fez.
Yeah, I mean, England just went in straight in with a game plan. They didn't actually look at this Australian side as a very big opponent. I think what Chata they kept their confidence.
You say
And
that,
just
but
really,
you
yeah,
say
I mean,
that.
देखो, at the end of the day, it is about the belief and ability, right? Like अगर आपका ability में belief है, आप कर ले सकते हो on any day. कोई भी आप देखो, भाई न्यूजीलैंड भी तीन विक्ट्री में 3 मैचों से हार के आई. But yeah, I think they just backed themselves, and that's what happened. So at any day, I mean,
My
Australia
angle,
were playing good, but then Bangladesh also beating them. After this, Australia side was a little bit shaky, and now England उसका फायदा उठा लिया.
for me, it was a miraculous achievement, because you're defending
Yeah.
99 in a semi-final against the Australian women's team. No matter what, they lost to Bangladesh, whatever. But the Australian women, Australia in general have this like winning mentality.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
99 is a very small total in a knockout game. I know runs on the board, pressure, blah blah blah. But still, 99 is very little. The way they bowled was phenomenal. The way they fielded
Leg
was
spinner in them, yeah.
phenomenal. They basically beat Australia on their own game. They sucked them under pressure, and just put all the pressure on Australia. Didn't let them get out of any kind of get any sort of advantage. And look, Hannah Baker, man, 3 wickets,
Yeah.
4 overs, 10 runs. High next level performance. मैं क्या की बोल दिया बीच में, because I was looking at the scorecard and I'm just like it was outstanding, man, from England. Arsenal beating City today. Bro, I think honestly that City will win if I give you my very correct answer, because City have a better squad, and I don't think Arsenal should play their 11. I think the lineups are out. They shouldn't play the strong 11. Play all your kids, man. It doesn't matter. Premier League is more important right now. And but again, for City also, Premier League is also more important, and I don't think they really care about the FA Cup, but they just have more squad depth. So I'll be surprised. Huda is not India's answer for a dedicated finisher. Hardik Pandya is.
But yes, I didn't ever say that Hardik Pandya also. I love dedicated fans. And देखो हुदा को इतने matches नहीं मिले, so I don't think it was anyone's
मिले
answer.
अभी मिल रहे उसको.
कितने मिले?
15-20 तो मिल गए अभी एक साल में.
15-20 एक साल में but कितने consistently कितने मिले? एक के बाद एक उसको नहीं मिले. ब्रेक्स में मिल गए ना.
लास्ट 3-4 सीरीज तो खेल रहा ना. साउथ अफ्रीका के अगेंस्ट खेला, यहाँ पे खेला,
T20 तक बैठा रहा, फिर श्रीलंका में खेला, साउथ अफ्रीका के बाद बैठा.
T20 वर्ल्ड कप.
या T20 की बात है, बट गैप कितना है वो बोल रहा हूँ. तो उसको तो टाइम लगेगा. It's honestly, I don't think anyone thought he was like a finisher, but yeah, he can play multiple roles, that we said. And yeah, I mean, he has to complete himself right now. It'll take time for him as well, but he doesn't. I guess he's old, right?
Actually, not there. India need to groom someone better.
Washington, baby.
Washington Sundar, man. I think he's a very good option. Pandya is not coming in position as a finisher. But today he should have finished off the game. He was set. He was the
Today he
captain.
did come a little bit earlier than most.
Should have finished off the game, in my opinion, because him and Surya both should have taken that responsibility, because they did put India in that position where they could win the game, and that's where you expect a bit more from the greatest all-round in the world. For some people, you expect him to finish off the game.
But
So
they did also take it back to New Zealand to a certain extent. I think Surya Kumar more than Hardik Pandya. Bilkul, I would say that Hardik Pandya was not able to get shots off. Fourth, still 20 of 20, 21 or 20, 105 की strike rate है. आप कुछ भी बोल लो, but Surya Kumar was giving it back. Hardik Pandya
कुछ भी
still not.
बोलूं, कुछ भी बोलूं, पक्का बोलूं, कुछ भी बेकार स्ट्राइक रेट है वो T20 के लिए.
कोई बात नहीं भाई.
मैं बोले कुछ भी बोलो तो मैं बोल रहा हूँ बेकार स्ट्राइक रेट है वो. आपका कैप्टन है, हैज टू फिनिश ऑफ.
Yeah, 100%.
Washi is the long-term finisher option. He is an option, and
Sir
his
Patel is
shots,
also an option. Yeah, 100%.
his shots वो flick करा उन्हें, फिर cover के through जो दो मारा, crisp, कड़क timing, very 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 good potential, good in all conditions. Man, the thing is, but one thing I don't know what you guys think. If you see, personnel keeps changing, but India's problems do continue to be similar. All-rounder का issue हो रहा, आपको death bowling का issue हो रहा, spin के against issue हो रहा. Those whenever there's a hint of swing, there's a problem. So whatever the personnel, I don't know what the exact problems. I can't pinpoint this, but if you notice, the Indian team in general is having these problems. Whether it's Rohit Sharma opening the batting or Ishan Kishan opening the batting, whether it's Arshdeep bowling the last over or Bhuvneshwar bowling the last over, you're having the same problem. So Don and Vinay, I don't know what your thoughts are on this, but this is just what my evaluation was after today. Can bowl in PP and middle overs. Yeah, he can bowl in PP. Washi won't play abroad if Jadeja or Aksar are there. Yeah, abroad he won't play for Jadeja and Aksar there. You're right, because I don't think they will go with two off spinners unless they do what they used to with Ashwin and Jadeja. So that's a good point, Mr. Vinay. But man, that's why you have to develop also other players like Shivam Dubey, Venkatesh Iyer. You have to develop players like that. You can't just have one all-rounder and just play him, one medium pace all-rounder and play him every single game. It's not going to work like that. You got
especially when there's so many injuries around this Indian squad. I think it's always good to develop more.
वैसे तुम देखो ऑस्ट्रेलिया में देख लो, इंग्लैंड में देख लो, आपके पास वोक्स है, सैम करन है, आपके पास टॉयनेस रहता, मिचेल मार्श रहता, ऑप्शंस प्लेंटी है भाई, and this is where India doesn't have those options, and
I think India is just too scared to experiment. When you see an Australian squad or an England squad in general, they give a lot of more chances to these guys, because like you said, that element of fear is not there in them to experiment and lose, and that's why a lot of people are more prepared to play these international matches from an England or an Australian perspective. Obviously they have their own local leagues which they respect a lot with county and cricket Australia, but इंडिया में वो चीज नहीं है. आप देख लो, ये रांची को है, इतना सब बोलते कि रांची राम, बट कितने लोग आके यहाँ पे इंटरनेशनल लेवल पे डायरेक्ट चांस देके तो देख लो. लाइक दैट्स व्हाट इंग्लैंड डू, राइट? दे सडनली गेट समवन न्यू एंड यू डोंट इवन नो हु दिस गाय इज, एंड he gets a few matches under his wing, so he has an exposure to that, and I think that is something that India needs to start looking into.
Or do you think they're just more skillful, the Australians?
Skillful, yeah, but how do you develop skill when you're exposed to that kind of a situation, right? So I mean, आपको मैं बोलूंगा कि भाई आप ये एक दिन में तेंदुलकर बन जाओ, आप नहीं कर सकते हो. It will take time. Even Kohli sucked the initial years of his career.
So you're saying the grooming is not correct.
You sow a seed, you put water in it consistently, and it'll grow to be whatever it has to be.
Sow it, baby. Is Washi in the future Ashwin or future Jadeja? I think he's just future Washington. So that he's different, because I think he doesn't have the skills of Ashwin right now as an off spinner, but his batting is far superior than Ashwin. When it comes to Jadeja, again, Jadeja test format, he's a completely different bowler. He's a beast, and batting overall, Jadeja every format is outstanding. So you can't compare Washington Sundar right now. I don't know exactly who the future is, but he will bring you something different. He's a great fielder also, so maybe on the Jadeja lines, only time will tell what he is. I won't be surprised if he becomes the next Steve Smith, man. That's a big call right here, but he leaves.
Heard it here first.
Yeah, leaves bowling and fielding and just concentrates on down batting. Hello, Vinesh bhai, long time. Thank you so much for joining. One thing I want to say, Deepak Hooda is not a finisher. Please don't take him in 2024 in T20 World Cup. If we are 24 of 10 balls, he will never finish a match, and his game against pace is very bad. One thing I noticed, वो slog बहुत मारता है first, like mid wicket को. थोड़ा सा
आज का सबका वही है ना, देखो सूर्य कुमार भी वही स्लॉग मारता, आई थिंक उन्हें भी वैसे ही चढ़ था, आई थिंक ग्लेन फिलिप्स का भी वैसे विकेट गया, तो आई डोंट नो, आई थिंक ही सीइंग हिम लाइक अ फिनिशर रोल इन दैट एस्पेक्ट। अब सभी वो मिड विकेट रीजन देख रहे थे, आई डोंट नो व्हाट इट इज बट या।
Would you bring Hardik if you're captain? Would you bring yourself down and promote Huda in front of you, and then you play as the finisher?
Yeah, 100%. If but only thing with Hardik is I'm still not able to understand why he's not able to get going, and maybe he's
So he
trying to
needs
be a
some
more.
time. So maybe that's why he's coming
He
ahead.
maybe needs some time. So yeah, I guess वो भी हो सकता. But Deepak Huda, if we see him the way he played in against Sri Lanka, that gave you hope, right? That he could actually be a finisher. So I still don't know if उसको मेरे हिसाब से भाई boy को तो time मिलना, and आप बोल रहे कि उसको बड़े consistent amount of games अब तो मिले, I would say back to back series मिले उसको, but maybe somewhere down the line he just needs to, like you said earlier, if you remember, you said कि उसको बहुत जगह लेके आ रहे, third भी लेके आए, फिर उसको six भी
Bilkul,
लेके
bilkul.
आए,
I did say that.
वो चीज
I
right?
forgot about that, but yeah, that's true. They do keep changing him. Nitin Bhai, the biggest South African supporter, the Protea man himself,
Africa,
Finn
this
Allen,
time
thoda
for
sa
this time for Africa, waka waka baby.
waka. Hey, come on, Africa. Man, I'm telling you, the South African team, I rate it so highly, but कुछ कुछ भी हो जाता है इन लोगों के साथ. They're very, in crucial situations. I don't want to use the word, but all I can say is this. These are the actions. That's the problem. Deepak is like Khujdil, just playing all shots at leg side. Please give chance to Jitesh Sharma and Rahul Tripathi. Also bowls medium pace, and why not give him over? Why, Faiz? Why aren't you giving him over, bro?
Hitesh Sharma is a wicket keeper, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
He
no,
had a very, very good spell with Punjab in the IPL. He was very impressive. He was everybody's uncapped pick in the fantasy teams. But he's talking about Rahul Tripathi can bowl medium pace, not Jitesh Sharma.
yeah, Rahul Tripathi can. Well, I mean, you can give that option, but again, Deepak Huda को खत्म भी नहीं कर रहा. आज अच्छा ही डाला Deepak Huda. He didn't get smacked, but he was a
Pips.
better bowler than most of them. So it's just one game at a time, and like Mustafa said, just trust the process for now, hopefully, and then we see what happens at a later stage. Uh, एंड फैज भाई, मुस्तफा भाई, हार्दिक पांड्या कब मैच जिताएगा इंडिया को, उसके बाद आए अक्सर चहर सब मैच जिताए हैं. दैट इज अ गुड पॉइंट मेड. हार्दिक पांड्या का देखो भाई, मेरे हिसाब से सी बॉलिंग में भी आज पिट गया. आज तो पिच खैर थोड़ी बहुत ऑफ थी फॉर बॉलर्स ऑफ हिज पेस, बट उसको थोड़ा टाइम दो भाई. उन्हें खाली इंजरियों के वो निकल गया तो उसका टेम्परामेंट सही हो जाएगा. बैक टू बैक इंजरीज होते जा रहे हैं, उसको खुद समझ में नहीं आ रहे, उन्हें कभी डग आउट में जाके बैठ जा रहा, उसको समझ में नहीं आ रहा. तो आई वुड जस्ट से बैक हार्दिक पांड्या, ही इज गोना बी वन टू वॉच आउट फॉर, होपफुली एक आध दो गेम बस, होपफुली.
सवाल क्या
एंड
था
थर्ड
कब?
ओडीआई एंड थर्ड ओडीआई में उन्हें 50 मार के उन्हें 386 तक लेके गया. सो यू कुड से दैट नॉट अ फिनिशिंग रोल, बट एटलीस्ट ही हेल्ड हिज नर्व ओवर देयर. सो देयर आर साइंस, जस्ट वेट फॉर इट.
तो मेरा जवाब ये, आप पूछे कब मैच जिताएगा, आप 2 महीने रुक जाओ. गुजरात की जर्सी पहनने वाले मैच जिताएगा वहां पे, आप टेंशन मत लो. उन्हें आईपीएल में जिताते रहता मैचेस. मुस्तफा भाई बोलते हैं कि इंजरी प्रोन है, बट सबसे ज्यादा चाहर रहता है उसने मैच जिताया.
ए भाई, उन्हें पाकिस्तान से मैच जिताया भाई.
बात सही है, उन्हें मैच जिताया श्रीलंका के अगेंस्ट. याद है तुम्हारे को 8-9 डाउन थे इंडिया वो टाइम पे, उन्हें बैटिंग करा भाई चाहर. बात मैं तो सहमत हूँ नितिन, मैं आर्ग्यू नहीं कर रहा हूँ.
सही है, बात सही है,
हार्दिक पांड्या
क्रिटिसिज्म
को मैं
सही
बहुत
है.
ज्यादा क्रिटिसाइज करता हूँ बिकॉज उसका जो टैलेंट है भाई, बहुत ज्यादा टैलेंटेड प्लेयर है. ही कैन बी one of the best players in the world, but he's nowhere close to that because of his injuries. Also, I think mental toughness could be an issue at certain times. I feel that unhe डर जाता है, doesn't take that extra risk. But in terms of talent, he's outstanding. That's why I criticize him, because I feel that तुम्हारे को याद है एक बार 2018 आईपीएल जो मुंबई 5 हारे थे लगातार मैचेस, then they went on a winning streak.
Back to
उसमें
back,
हार्दिक
yeah.
पांड्या क्या मार रहा था when they went on their winning streak. बॉल 1 से कड़क मारता हूँ, जबरदस्त है. बट वही है भाई, मैच विनर अभी नहीं बोल सकते उसको अनलेस. But hopefully, I hope in the 2023 World Cup, I'll say the same thing. If India need to win the World Cup, Hardik Pandya hopefully
I'm
would
just
be
in
an
the process. I don't Deepak and I think other finishers in this team, only Hardik and Sky is reliable, but others are just not good. Is not T20 material. That's a big shout.
So then you can make those tweaks. It's not a problem. You bring in like a Shaw for a Gill. You could take out Deepak. You could give a Jitesh Sharma. You have those options. What I'm talking about trusting the process is that even with those changes, you still can lose. With Prithvi Shaw also, there's no guarantee win. You can still lose. He plays high risk cricket. He can get out. But what I'm saying is this young team will need to develop, because there's a lot of players who are experiencing things for the first time on the cricket field. As I'm saying, on the cricket field, they're going to experience against anything international cricket together, kathe, at the same time. So they will learn things. They're going to make a lot of mistakes compared to your senior team, and that's why I'm saying trusting the process. You can make slight changes here and there, no problem, but that won't guarantee you wins. You have to continue to back them, continue to play them, and that means play them in the World Cup, in a big match, also big tournament.
Yeah, I think वो प्रॉब्लम ही है होता है यूजुअली लाइक मतलब एक आप टीम बिल्ड करते कोर टीम बिल्ड करते एंड देन आप जाते जाते एकदम से उसमें चेंजेस करे तो देन डिसहार्टनिंग तो रहता फॉर अ प्लेयर आल्सो एंड केमिस्ट्री सेट नहीं होती एंड दिस इज द राइट टाइम जो लाइक अभी एक यू स्टार्टेड फ्रॉम जनवरी 2023 कंटिन्यू until 2024 and just see how it goes. But I still feel somehow Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli will end up in this team because कुछ ना कुछ होता भाई है always.
No, but do you agree with that is my question.
It will be for me. It'll be based just on the situation. If I see a lot of injuries and when there are people who are not who are in the team, a core team, and they are injured, then I would say. But if you're like unnecessarily bringing, then I would not call. That would be not uncalled for because that would just be seniority complex. That's it.
I'm just saying, regardless if India win the One Day World Cup or not, regardless, you continue with this T20 team because they've got enough chances and they can, focus on their one day and test and try something different. If you're going to lose, what is different in that? You've been losing anyway in T20 World Cups. At least try something different and lose. होता ही है भाई
यार लास्ट 10 ओवर में क्या किया अफ्रीका ने मुस्तफा भाई मजा आ गया बिल्कुल मजा आ गया भाई
वर्ल्ड क्लास भाई
बट नितिन भाई एक सवाल आपसे भी आप हार्दिक पांड्या का तो बोले बट व्हेन विल साउथ अफ्रीका डू समथिंग इन अ वर्ल्ड कप ब्रो when will South Africa win a World Cup when will they do something in an ICC tournament apart from the semi-finals इतने प्लेयर आए साउथ अफ्रीका के एबी डिविलियर्स थे जैक स्कैलिस थे ग्रेम स्मिथ थे उन्हें कुछ नहीं करे सो आई थिंक उधर भी कुछ सोचना पड़ेगा अपने
नहीं 100% साउथ अफ्रीका का तो ये तो कॉमन प्रॉब्लम है एंड आई वाज वेरी अपसेट मैन व्हेन दे लॉस्ट टू नेदरलैंड्स इन द थिंग इवन व्हेन दे लॉस्ट was it 2015 World Cup against New Zealand? Like I know, like I was happy for New Zealand at the time, but I was upset because this was
the set match. Yeah,
that was the best South Africa team, man, that I've seen in general, bro. Even 2011 आप New Zealand से जो quarter final हारे उसमें wickets फेंक दिया अमला ग्राम स्मिथ तुम लोग. I think it was like Kyle Mills or someone picked up like 4 or 5 for. So in general, I'm very critical of South Africa because I feel they're the best team. So many World Cups, they're the best team, but just underperformed.
मैच फील्ड में 50 रुपए कटेंगे उसके साहिब ओवर एक्टिंग के मारा सीधा दिखा नॉक Ishan, main problem is strike rotation, and when high pacers or quality pacers start bowling bodyline bowling, then he can't hit or strike rotation.
Very good point. Very good point. And this is something that I noticed today. It's brilliant what you're saying. He doesn't rotate the strike, and when it's some quick bodyline stuff, he's getting worked out now, and he got worked out in the IPL also. If you saw in the last season, I don't know why he's not improving. I'm sure he's trying. This is a weakness that bowlers are exploiting against Ishan Kishan. Again today also, he got a brilliant delivery, so I'm not going to say anything, but I just expect him to play better because he's keeping wickets. He understands what the pitches. He knows that Sundar का भी उतना ही turn हो रहा था, तो उस हिसाब से आपको थोड़ा सा responsibility लेके खेलना चाहिए. And that's why I was a bit disappointed with him, but yeah, he got a peach of it.
Maturity बहुत ज़्यादा दिखी थी यार उसमें. बांग्लादेश के innings में जो 200 मारा, it looked like he was the most mature player. हर जगह से मार रहा था, and it was probably just his day. And I mean that I know he has the talent, I know he has the potential, but he's just not backing that right now. And I think he just needs to calm himself down. First over, just play for nothing at this point of time. Just say कि भाई चलो let's start afresh. Play like your first match. तो नहीं बोलेगा because और nervous हो जाएगा, but maybe somewhere that you just play with a free mindset of not anticipating how much you will make, but just pace your innings at a slower rate and then hopefully you'll get there. But for New Zealand, Mustafa, again, there were lots of signs of bad fielding. We don't see that regularly from a Kiwi squad, man. That's a very big concern right now. 3 catches, 2 catches drop करे तो tail में.
Yeah, they misjudged those catches. One catch, Sodhi and Conway, they were just miscommunicated. The other
Yeah.
one was at long off. I forgot who dropped it. He misjudged it again. He came in too
Chapman.
late.
Chapman, I think it was Mark
Chapman,
Chapman.
yeah, he came in too late. So yeah, they misjudged. It was a bit worrying from them. They normally New Zealand are very good fielders, but just wait for the ICC World Cup. They'll work on that. Don't worry. But yeah, I
ओके
agree.
ओके फैज भाई, मैं बताता हूँ उनके रूल्स एंड रेगुलेशंस एंड पैसे की कमी, वो अपने अच्छे और थोड़े प्लेयर्स को टीम में नहीं रोक पा रहे हैं, बट आज क्या छः मारा बमूमान और आर्चर ने आर्चर को,
Right.
हाँ वो तो, बट
But
बट एट 2015 and even 2011 वो कुछ problems नहीं थे इन लोगों को. At that point of time South African cricket was blooming with a lot of talent. Philander था, हाशिम आमला था, AB de Villiers से, ग्रैम स्मिथ था, तो वो टाइम पे तो आई डोंट थिंक देयर वाज एनी प्रॉब्लम. या सी एंड ये मेंटालिटी अभी से नहीं है ना नितिन भाई, वो तो 99 के वर्ल्ड कप में भी दे चोक्ड. तो देयर लॉट ऑफ चोकर्स देयर. लैंस क्लूजनर था वो जमाने में, तो मुस्तफा यू रिमेंबर दैट 214 वाला मैच, राइट? जॉन्टी रोड्स एंड ऑल ऑफ दोस थिंग्स. सो आई मीन इट्स जस्ट द
yeah, never
प्रॉब्लम विद दैट.
forget. I'll tell you another thing though. What I want to say is that Bavuma, brilliant captaincy today,
Yeah.
brilliant, bro. He of course you have to give the bowlers the credit. They did very well, and he's lucky he has a bowling machine like that. But this guy knows how to rotate his bowlers, and I think this
Yeah.
is why the team is backing
Back
him
end.
to be captain, because he understands everyone's strengths, weaknesses. उन्हें सबको लेके चल रहा. There are problems. I'm sure there are internal politics. I'm sure there are off the field stuff that we're not wary about. But this guy does a good job, and that's why they keep backing him. We always ask the question, and I think this is the reason, because there's nothing else to explain why he's continued to be backed, especially after the failure in the T20 World Cup. But I think this is why they're backing him. He's captaining very well in pressure situations. He's done well again in this series, and overall, I think Bavuma is the one who's gotten this team back together. Nokia and Rabada, he's gotten this bowling lineup. He's backed the likes of Van der Dusen in the batting lineup, Mark Rum, these guys. He's given them some senior roles as well. So overall, I think Bavuma again today was sensational, and that's why they want to back him. I have to credit him today because I criticized him
Yeah.
so much otherwise.
Yeah, 100%. There's always room for improvement, and he's working on that. I think he's a sensible guy, and the way he addresses the media as well, he knows how to answer those questions. Please don't put Rohit and Kohli in one bracket in T20, because Virat performed way ahead than Rohit, and Rohit hasn't performed. That's why he has not been part of this team. Virat performed, but why out of the team?
Virat
I
Kohli
think
is out of the team because they want to focus on the 50 over
focus.
World Cup and
Yeah.
test matches. That's why he's out of the team right now. I'm talking about yeah, you're right, Virat Kohli. The reason why I put them both in the same bracket, it's not, the completely different players. Virat Kohli is probably the best match winner. He's probably the better
In terms of
batsman.
seniority, is the only reason why I think Mustafa put him. In terms of
But
like
in terms
amount
of
of World
in
Cups
terms
that
of
he played.
talent, I think Rohit Sharma is the most talented batsman India have right now. I think he's more talented than Virat Kohli. That's why I
You
put
saw
them.
him. You saw Kohli and him live, right, in the Asia Cup.
Yeah, I've seen them quite a bit in a lot of Asia Cups. I saw in 2018, I saw Rohit Sharma there. Virat Kohli, I saw him
So
in the
what
last
do you
World
say?
Cup.
क्या फर्क दिखता था? Like what do you see in
Rohit
terms of?
Sharma has plenty of time. He doesn't get rushed at all. He has the problem with with Rohit Sharma is concentration. He loses his thing. He plays a
ADD.
false shot. Yeah, he has. I think there's attention deficiency over there for sure. Attention deficiency for sure. And they've mentioned it also like as a joke that he forgets stuff. He forgot
And
his
he did
line.
in the toss. He did
Yeah,
in the toss. So yeah,
has a problem.
that ADD adds up basically. Yeah.
Yeah, and Virat Kohli is mentally way stronger. He knows how to win a game. He has some his strong suits, his strong shots. No one is better than him. But Rohit Sharma has more a wider range of shots. He can play more shots. For example, he can play the sweep. Virat Kohli doesn't really play the sweep. Doesn't mean he can't play it. He doesn't really play it. That's what I'm saying. So there's more short offers for Rohit Sharma. But yeah, I'm not saying that Rohit Sharma is a better batsman. Why I keep them? I think that Rohit Sharma is extremely talented. That's why I keep them in a similar boat. Just as
And
batsmen,
Rohit
nothing.
Sharma had one World Cup T20.
He has a T20. So, but for Kohli has a 50 over World Cup. So
Yeah.
1-1. It's one. I'm telling you, and that's why I get pissed
Yeah.
off, because these two, with these two in the team, you have to win more trophies, man. They're like two
Yeah.
outstanding batsmen. Outstanding.
100%.
Virat Kohli will give you a chase. Rohit Sharma will set the platform. This
Yeah.
combination is world class, and you still have not won trophy.
Maybe they
That's
should
why,
try. Maybe they should try opening together. That'd be very interesting to see.
they will bat together even if they don't open together. They will bat
Yeah,
together. But
because you have KL Rahul, Ishan Kishan, and
And
Shumitra
Faiz, don't
Sehwag.
forget, like in the 50 over 2019 under Kohli's captaincy, Rohit Sharma smashed 500s. Now under Rohit's captaincy, Virat Kohli smashed it against Pakistan and in general. So these guys have a very they understand each other's game. They know they've been playing for a while, and that's why I expect more trophies from them. Labuschagne from Africa, Labuschagne.
Peterson, Labuschagne from Africa, Peterson from Africa, Conway from Africa, Roy from Africa, और भी बहुत प्लेयर है, बट ये तो उनके माँ बाप की मर्जी है कि वो अफ्रीका छोड़ के गए. वो I think that even Kevin Peterson left South Africa in the middle to go to England and play. So I think it's there is a reason कि भाई आपकी बात में दम है कि पैसे या उतनी कंट्री डेवलप नहीं है, but I get your point.
Virat
No,
has two.
Viraj have to
No, so
2011
does Rohit. And Rohit
So
also
it's
has the.
also Shekhar Dhawan also.
Rohit Sharma has also 2 trophies.
Yeah. MSD has MSD has 3. I know he has 1, but he's the one who won it. So that was like Shekhar Dhawan on drugs, man. That was something
But
else.
that is the tournament where Rohit Sharma became that
Became a
player
star.
because
Yeah.
he opened the batting and they changed his life. So yeah, and you remember, man, 2008 Deccan Chargers, 2009, sorry, 2008. Rohit Sharma
कोलकाता
was the.
नाइट राइडर्स को मारे थे यार वो.
हाँ वो 2009 में था, but overall 2008 में भी उसकी innings देखो, he was the best batsman in Deccan Chargers, bro. At that time there was Simons, Gilchrist, all these guys. He was the one who was shining.
5 IPLs, baby.
Huh?
5 IPLs.
No, I'm just saying in general. I'm not. I really like both of them.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
a big fan of
100%.
both of them. I never say who's better here and there. Yeah, I can compare Ben Stokes and Hardik Pandya for you, but I won't compare these two because I'm a big fan of both of them. Like they're very good batsmen to watch. I think that wraps up first. मेरे को कैसा भी पहुंचा दो अभी आर्सेनल और सिटी का मैच देखना है. मेरे को कैसा भी तुम स्विमिंग ट्रंक्स लगा लो, कुछ कर दो, मेरे को पहुंचा दो, मैच देखना है मेरे को. तो yeah, it's been raining quite consistently here.
Hallelujah.
Yeah, fortunately, unfortunately, but it's caused some issues on the roads and stuff. But don't worry, we're all safe. Paz is excited, and मेरे को पहुंचा दो तुम बस मैच देखने. Any
Definitely.
last thoughts?
Last thought question. I think India just needs to work a bit on their batting perspective, and I think going into the next T20, just forget this. I learned from it, but just don't let it get to your head and play with it. I know like that Arshdeep over played with you. Let it go. हो जाए चीज़. Lot of room to win, and the second T20 जीतना है तो make the third one a dramatic one.
इसलिए बेचारे बच्चों पे नहीं चिल्लाना है इतना. ऐसा
क्या चिल्लाना क्या. देखो भाई आप नो बॉल्स का पहली बार मैं वही बोलता ना अर्शदीप को लेके कर सकते बिकॉज इट्स नॉट अ फर्स्ट टाइमर राइट एंड फर्स्ट टाइमर हो तो समझ में आ सकता कि उन्हें करा बट फॉर समवन लाइक अर्शदीप यू एक्सपेक्ट मच बेटर एंड फ्रॉम ऑलरेडी bowling 5 no balls in the first T20 against Sri Lanka. I don't think you're gonna want that again. What बोलते कि मारा अरे मैं खुद में ऐसा अरे यारो बोल के मेरे दिमाग में आ गया तो I can expect what Hardik Pandya must be going through, right? So होता one off है, just to back it and hopefully we'll be back and so we'll be good night Riders.
Good night, Riders.
Yeah,
Good
that's
night,
it.
Nitin bhai.
Pun
Good
intended
night.
by Nitin Bhati. Nice one.
Yeah, good night to everybody. I think we'll be back very soon. Hopefully tomorrow with you guys. Today there was a very exciting day, tiring day. There was cricket all day. We had a lot of fun since noon time. There was the under 19, then there was the 50 over match between South Africa, England, then the India, New Zealand. So we'll take a bit of a breather now, watch some football, and then get back to cricket tomorrow and get you the latest news. Plenty of excitement. India in the under 19 women's final. That's great news for India and the country. One sad news for me is that Sania Mirza lost in the finals in the doubles of the Australian Open. I was really wanted her to win along with Popana. It was her last Grand Slam, and I was sad to see her say goodbye. She's been outstanding. She's been a star for not only the country but also she's from our city, Hyderabad. So we have that connection. And it's great to see her end the career like that. I wish she got the trophy, but it's okay. You win some, you lose some. It's been an outstanding career, especially in the doubles arena. She's done some outstanding stuff, and she's made
100%. I think from where an Indian background, it's always hard because बच्चों को लेके बहुत सेंसिटिव टॉपिक रहते हैं एंड द अटायर जो पहनते हैं जो कपड़े पहनते हैं टेनिस कोर्ट पे वो लेके काफ़ी चीज़ें रहते हैं फॉर हर टू ग्रो बट डेफिनेटली शी हैज़ बीन वन दैट अ लॉट ऑफ गर्ल्स आर लुकिंग अप टू नाउ बिकॉज ऑफ दैट prospect of making a name in tennis rightfully she is the brand ambassador for tennis in India. I know there was Mahesh Bhupati and Leander Pace and all of those guys, but for a female head figure she's been nothing less than someone that everybody's looking up to. Like girls, young girls, they all want to be Sania, right? So yeah, credit to an amazing career. No matter what, she's won a lot and represented us rightfully.
100%. We will remember her forever, and all the best to her.
And all the best to Shoaib bhai who will finally start living with her. अब तो करियर हो गए दोनों के तो देखना पड़ेगा. Like शोएब भाई भी खेल रहे हैं अभी BPL.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I think that pretty much wraps it up. Thank you so much for joining, everyone. Take care of yourselves, and we will catch you tomorrow. Hopefully, until then, stay safe and enjoy your rest of your night. Good night.